think
no.
we should start off talking about probably the most important thing in the world right now. The coronavirus.
Men's mental health. Oh, coronavirus. Okay. Yeah.
No.
We all gonna die. That's it.
Like,
It's Corona
next
time.
topic?
It's Corona time. Anyway,
basically,
Crack open a
a
cold one.
lot of stuff
if
to
you're
talk
old,
about,
you're
a lot of
fucked.
stuff.
If you're not, you're good. Don't worry about it, mate. You know,
Most
get that
important thing.
pasta.
Listen
Get
to
that
this.
loo roll.
Lads. Listen to this. This is big news. Big news. I seen there on Twitter there yesterday. Vanessa Hudgens, remember High School Musical? Vanessa
Yes.
Hudgens said
Unfortunately,
Sadly, I
something
do
on a live
remember
stream that offended a lot of people, saying that death was inevitable when it comes to the coronavirus, and that offended a lot of people. What are your thoughts on that, lads?
I'll let you guys go first because
I mean, that is fucking inevitable anyway. Like, it's that's what you're fucking getting out of. It's like, oh yeah, that isn't well done. That is the fact of life. You will.
I mean,
die.
death is inevitable if you're an anti.
Yeah, especially and for your kids. You know. So yeah, that is like.
But people were
really
offended by this. I don't see what's offensive about it. It's she's just stating a fact that death
Yeah.
is inevitable.
Stay
I mean, why the fuck? Like, I mean, why are you like listening to medical advice from someone that was in a fucking Disney movie from like 10 years ago? And getting offended over that? Like, how little is going on in your life? You're like, I can either get offended at this or watch the dog piss against a tree for the 10th time today. Like, how little is going on in your life that is an issue for you? Yeah, I mean,
Oh, very little, very little.
And if anybody does have any suggestions or, well, a decent reason as to why that could be offensive, just let us know, because I can't see what's offensive about it. I genuinely can't. There's just nothing that comes out as offensive.
I'll tell you what's offensive about it.
Well, let's hear it, Nathan. What do you think is offensive about it?
I just think it's the snowflakes trying to find something offensive. I retract the statement about what is offensive about it. I just think nowadays people are just looking at anything to kind of get offended by and play victim.
Possibly.
It happens with anything.
Just people that are offended by Trump calling the coronavirus the Chinese virus, which you also
Disagree with.
think is racist.
Yeah, I don't, because that term
That's like
that term itself isn't racist, so therefore that statement can't be racist.
kind of stupid, to be honest. If you want to call it that way, call it the Wuhan virus.
Yes, but it
Virus
does.
originates.
That's what I was
It's like if you get offended about that, you like
Yes.
go back to the Ebola.
Yes, but
What is
let's.
it called after a river in Africa?
Yeah,
I mean,
but at the same time,
Trump has something against
Place
China,
of
'cause it's just
origin.
everybody's
That's
calling
not
it
a
the
problem.
I
coronavirus.
mean,
That's
like,
a problem
like
too.
in his
Everyone.
defense, like the man is a nonce and a gobshite. But in his defense, we
Yeah.
do call food from
That's
China
in
fucking
his
Chinese
defense.
food. I'm just saying, like, and we do call
They call
food from
food-
Italy.
They call food from America Chinese food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's shite.
but
So, yeah.
see, I go back to this example, which is the Spanish flu. No one calls it the Barcelona flu, the Real Madrid flu.
Well, that flu actually came from America. Actually, that flu came from Kentucky.
Yeah, but its title was given the Spanish flu because it actually took over there, wasn't it? Something like that.
Actually, I'm gonna look into this right now. Some on-air research, because we did.
We've got a very
Nice
own
way to say
young
you're
Jamie.
unprepared.
I'm gonna be our fact checker for today.
All right.
And
My God, you don't ever get
0%
misled by
accuracy
shit
in
on the
fact.
internet.
Yes, if your facts go off like your medical diagnosis, we're fucked.
Yeah, let's not go there.
I'm afraid I have space age. Sorry. Gotta
Ladies,
say my goodbyes,
ladies and
man.
gentlemen, I'm afraid I think it might be human.
That has 100% mortality rate.
500 million people. Listen to this. The Spanish flu infected 500 million people.
Mhm.
500 million.
Okay.
And around the world, or about 27% of the world population of between 1.8 and 1.9 billion. So yeah, that was the population at the time. So the 17 million to 50 million people died, and as far as I can see, there's no mention of the origin. No.
The they did believe it came from America. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
But it's still known as the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's not known as the Barcelona flu, the Real Madrid flu, the Tenerife flu. It's known as in what country it came out of.
Yeah.
Okay, so to maintain morale, wartime censors minimize early reports of the illness. Mortality, Germany, the United Kingdom, France, and the United States. Papers were free to report the epidemic's effects of the neutral Spain, such as the grave illness of King Alfonso. These stories created a false impression of Spain as especially hard hit, giving the rise of the pandemic's name Spanish flu. Okay, that doesn't really give any. Okay, fuck it.
I think it sort of originated in Kentucky, and then it came across with American soldiers that were being.
I'll take your word
First
for
World
it.
War. Yeah, I don't need a fact, Jeremy. I'm usually right. Fuck it, trust it. It's fine.
Yeah, you're right. We'll have
Right, but back to the point, which was people thinking that the term Chinese flu or Chinese virus is racist. How is it? You know, going off the Spanish flu again. I reiterate, it's not the Tenerife flu.
In general, it's not really racist, but coming from Trump, when everybody's calling it something else, he just wants to call it the Chinese flu, and it came across as him having something against China.
He does. He's Trump. Like, he hates China. He does hate China.
He didn't for the last 4 years.
That's what he got elected on. He literally said in one of his speeches, "I'm gonna tell him to fuck off." Like the dude is not pro-China. Like I don't get why anyone's surprised about this. Like, dude, that
Trump is
not very pro-Chinese. Is calling the virus from China the Chinese virus. Like,
right?
Fucking stop the presses.
But still, I don't see where you're pointing. Like, although he might be again China, right? It's still the term itself, or against whatever. It's still the term itself isn't racist. To say a Chinese flu, like, that is not racist. That there's nothing racist about that.
I can agree. In general, the term is not racist.
Yeah, but you can't then put it down to who it came from. But he said we're going to put an end to this Chinese virus. Like, that's not racist. You know, the statement itself, Chinese virus, is not racist, therefore it can't be. If he was to turn around and kind of maybe direct it and say, like, all Chinese people, started this, you know, then, okay, I could kind of see where you're coming from, but with saying he's just going to stop this Chinese virus, I don't believe that that's racist whatsoever.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay.
It's like just stating where it came from kind of thing.
I don't think it's a racist thing. I mean, we use that name convention with food. It might be confusing. I think that's the worst you could take with it, because people are calling it COVID-19 and then he's calling it a different thing, and that could cause confusion. Like, as you take the statement as it stands, it's not really racist, because that is a pretty normal naming convention to call something where it's from. You know, You know, I don't like the guy. Like, I don't like the prick, but you know, I don't think it's a racist statement. Like, I think it's confusing, and in that way, it's dangerous and irresponsible, because it's like, you need a common naming convention for something to be able to deal with it and maybe get people on the same page. And then when one part of the world is calling it this and another part of the world is calling it that, that can cause some confusion. But I think the criticism that it's a racist statement isn't true, because, you know, we call food from Italy fucking Italian fucking food. Do you know what I mean?
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, because the term was malicious towards the people, I guess. So it's just racist because it's malicious?
Just because they find it offensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is something else that's wrong with this world, about, like, people finding certain speech that isn't directed towards them offensive, and then they try and get it done for, like, racism and things like that. I mean, we need to really take a hard look at ourselves and work some.
Just blame other people.
I mean,
this is very philosophical. You're gonna have to. I think I have to sit in deep thought for a couple of minutes. Jesus, Nathan, I have to sit back and look at myself. Realize what a fat fuck I've become.
You and me both. Yeah.
Back here at home in Ireland, the only county that has not been infected with the coronavirus is Monaghan, our home county. And that is some kind of miracle. I don't know how.
It's because they're all riddled with something else. That's why.
No, it's like, Monaghan is that fucking depressing. Even the coronavirus is like, fuck that, mate. I'm away to Dublin.
I
Fuck that.
thought Martin were get fucked with the amount of degenerates in it, but
Yeah, I don't know. It's mad. Like, you know, you work in the shop. Like how bad is it? Like, is there like absolute panic buying still going on?
I work in the as of yesterday.
Other German companies with cheap food are available.
No, we don't name the companies because there's no free promotion.
Okay, I work for a such and such company that is usually very, very busy around 4 o'clock, and in our store we have 7 tills, and around 4 o'clock you'd expect 6 or 7 of the tills to be open with a bunch of people lining up ready to go out the door.
what are you talking about? There's one open in maybe a second.
Yeah. It's the same in Blaney.
You kidding
We went
me?
down to only one
You go to the
till.
busiest Tesco ever. There's 2 tills open.
Well, there was only one till open yesterday. It was that quiet, and like at max, I think there was 4 tills open. So, like, a big panic that everybody had after the announcement that all the schools were closing. Like, everybody just started losing their minds, going out in panic buying. Like, surprisingly, not as much bog roll as you'd expect. It was more so bread, milk, and a bit of meat. And well, yesterday there was sugar sold out. I don't
It's because they're all making their own bread. That's why.
That's probably it. Yeah, that is probably it. But yeah, it was very, very quiet yesterday, and it was really quiet on Paddy's Day, which was I was happy because we got out early, so we got everything done and ready. Because I was supposed to be finished at 10:30, and we were out the door at 9:30.
We've had quite a few like ghost town moments as well. Like we're not a food store, obviously, but apparently we're like a kind of a last resort kind of store kind of thing, because we sell like emergency equipment for like obviously people driving and stuff like that for their cars. So like you've got like hazard stuff if they need to like pull over the side of the road, and like lights as well because they need the lights for the road and stuff like that. But apparently we won't be like, we'll probably be like one of the last to close if there is a closing or a lockdown kind of thing. Yeah.
And I'm not going to name your store, but what exactly you do in the store? What does your store sell? What is the main function? What does your store add to society?
Absolutely nothing. No, I'm just. People are going to be using vehicles for transport, obviously, and while people are doing that, that means that we
get there.
No, not to get there. Like, just if people are using transport to get anywhere, as long as there's someone using transport, we need to be open to kind of provide them with, let's say, bulbs or batteries or stuff for their cars like that. Even if it's like the tire kit and stuff like that for cars, or the equipment that you need for when you pull over in a hard shoulder and stuff like that, like the triangle and everything like that. As long as there's one person driving on any of the roads, we need to be open.
Okay, so just this covers cars and whatnot.
So you're an essential service, so basically, like,
Yeah.
you're not going to be closing down. I thought they use the same as Iron there, where like it is sort of an essential service.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it
we're not open
an
24
essential service. Yeah, we're not either. I wouldn't necessarily call it that because the other half of the store doesn't need to be open. The other half only covers bikes. But at the same time, you could have the odd person coming in and looking to get like a bike or something like that, you know. But I was thinking about like if the government implemented like curfews and stuff, that there wouldn't be anybody coming in for like bikes because of the fact that it's not an essential. The essentials are food.
Yeah, kind of.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm
You're
thinking
gonna be getting a curfew anytime soon.
I don't think so.
Took them ages to even close school.
I think
Like, my
I
dad-
think
my dad
Boris is
reckons
adopting that.
There's going to be a lockdown in
approach.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're looking at about maybe a week or two for the lockdown. I'm gonna put bets on about a week or two.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
usually like
I
in
wouldn't be
policy, the UK has been like roughly 2 to 3 weeks behind other countries. So I say in the next week or two.
Just a few weeks.
These are a week behind Ireland.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like about a week.
Yeah,
a
about a
week.
week until it goes into proper
Yeah.
lockdown. Like he is, like you can tell from the different press conferences, like he's
Yeah, he's
been in,
now.
like
Yeah,
Doesn't know
there's
what's
been
going
no.
on.
There's
Gradually
been
looks
he's
more
waking
stressed.
up. Like yeah, like he's actually waking up to
I've
the.
seen this picture of Daily Mail in Ireland versus the Daily Mail in the UK. The Daily Mail in Ireland saying we can all get through this together, and the Daily Mail in the UK saying many people are going to die.
be honest with you,
difference
I'm
between those
surprised
two
to see
things.
like the Daily Mail say that in England. Like I'd expect a headline that we can burn foreigners for food. Like that's a good idea. That sounds like a Daily Mail thing to say.
Yeah.
Don't worry, eat your babies. Like that is a fucking Daily Mail fucking headline.
So we have some stats here.
Oh, lovely.
Do love me some
that I
stats.
sent
No, this was just on Twitter.
Oh, lovely.
So it's got like a list of all the countries. Not all of them, just a handful. Like China,
I can tell
Italy.
you this before you read out the stats. I want to say this that I heard today that Italy have already surpassed China with their death toll.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, because I've got the oldest fucking people.
It's also like, can you count on China being honest? Like they're an authoritarian government. Like they're not gonna.
They lied about it ever starting, ever becoming a thing.
Fucking silence doctors who said that there is coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know?
like,
Do you know what it
spoke
reminds
out
me
about
of?
it
They
died.
they actually know what they've done. They have created the exact same situation as the Chernobyl situation.
It is, yeah. Where
The
they covered up
exact same
problem.
thing. They've covered up the problem, ignored it as if it wasn't even a thing, until it got to a certain point where they couldn't contain it anymore.
Yeah,
It's the exact same thing.
and no one's holding them to task about it, which is the annoying thing.
Oh, you're gone, Alex.
Not enough
duct
duct
tape
tape
has
on
failed
that.
me.
Not enough duct tape.
The duct tape has failed me.
Lad, you're gonna have to go to Argus, lad. Get what he's got.
I'll get some more blue tack later.
Yeah, mine's just sitting on the top of my laptop. It's dandy.
Speaking of duct tape, I actually have that thing of roll of duct tape that you left in my car the time we done your speakers. Yeah, sitting in the door. But yeah, so let me go back to this list. So China, their cases are sitting at like 80,000. Total deaths is 3,245. Italy, even though they have a curfew and nobody's supposed to be out, their new cases has went up by 5,322. And that's with a curfew. Now, China's has only gone up 34, but again, we don't know how truthful that is.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of people have pointed out that China have been a bit shady on their facts. So
Yeah.
Like China's been shady since 1949. I don't know why people are surprised about this. Do you know what I mean? Like ever since Mao came about, like there've been a bunch of shady fuckers, and they're like even the way like everyone's like sort of showing them the good light of how they tackled this, and like it's really fucking shady. It's really shady. Like that doctor that spoke out about it died from coronavirus, even though he was young and healthy. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's a bit suspect. I think like this thing is probably worse than they're making it out to be, because people are like afraid of pissing off China, because obviously a lot of countries use it for both importing cheap goods and making their goods cheap there, and obviously it's a growing business and you don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
So
we don't.
there's a lot of emphasis for licking bums there. There's a lot of like there's a lot of reasons to do that, and
Yeah.
also they're a bunch of shady fuckers. You know.
Well, I can tell you that I'll give you the stats for just the deaths altogether now at the minute, right? So China's sitting at 3,245, Italy at 3,405, Iran at 1,284, Spain at 803, Germany at 43, USA at 171, France at 264. Now, France have no new cases, by the way, and no new deaths. Now, I'm not sure when that stat was like that, if it's just for a daily stat sheet, so like if that's from today or if that's from yesterday and it was the same as the day before, but they've got no new cases at all for either deaths or just cases overall. South Korea is up 152 cases, and they're up seven deaths. Again, we don't know how truthful that is. Switzerland is up 824 cases, but they're only up 3 deaths. You're probably hoping your ex-girlfriend is one of them. And the UK, the UK is up 66 cases. The UK is up 66 cases, right? Half of them are new deaths. 33 of them 66 new cases are deaths.
Yeah.
The UK's deaths are at 137.
Like no one's being tested here. Like you don't actually know the accurate numbers because they ain't bother fucking testing people.
Yeah.
Like no one's been tested in the north. Like they're not testing people in the north at all. Like they reckon the figure is more like 10,000 here. But obviously, I don't know what's going on.
I can tell you is that most of the cases in Ireland so far are people under 55, and the second most are people over 20.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the least, like there's very, very few people over the age of 55 that have gotten it, and I think even.
So basically, what you're saying is, before you go for that dirty shift in the pub, you gotta think twice about it, man.
You gotta just spray your mouth with hand sanitizer, or just down a bottle of vodka. So the Polish ones are fine. The Polish people and the Russian people are fine because they're always drinking vodka.
Oh, aye.
So, so they're fine. It's just
that'll fucking build up your immune system anyway.
Yes.
This whole no swearing thing has gone out the window.
No. What do you mean no swearing thing? Of course we're swearing.
I don't know what you
fucking swearing thing, you
fucking bastard bollocks, aren't they?
Let's give
like seriously, me and Alex.
I'm not beeping it off. Like fuck it, we're like we aren't monetized. This is the first ever video on this channel. I'm not like we're not monetized, so fuck it.
Look, if you let your kids fucking watch this, it's your own fucking fault. Like,
yeah. Maybe I'll pop a disclaimer on the start of it. Maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah.
I dare you to put "this is made for kids" on your uploads.
No, I can't. Because it'll detect.
Call it Spider-Man and Elsa do a podcast.
So tired, he's yawning, and
it'll detect. It'll detect certain words, so it won't let me.
Worse than the coronavirus. This is not good.